Hello, good morning to you, and many thanks for joining us. You're watching Galaxy today, coming to you from Galaxy Television. My name is Justin Nakadoni.
And of course, I'm Omo-Agege. It's Thursday, and like we like to do on Thursday, is usually lifestyle. But today we'll take a story, or we'll look at it, and we'll look into the stolen Senate mace, which is also found. And the show of the day will do something in office politics to play or not to play. Right, Justin?
Yes, just yesterday, Wednesday, there was pandemonium at the Senate during plenary when 6 men reportedly walked to the hallowed chambers and carted away with the mace, which is the symbol of authority of Senate President Bukola Saraki. It was really very dramatic because the lawmaker representing Delta Central, Senator Omo-Agege, reportedly brought them to the to the Senate chamber, and of course he was arrested yesterday and eventually released. From reports we hear this morning, the mace has been recovered by the police somewhere along the Abuja flyover. We'll be looking at that and all the issues arising from that this morning on the show. We have a guest here in Lagos, and of course we'll also be joined by an activist and a policy analyst from our studios in Abuja. Well, this morning we have Richard Amuwa. He is the MD CEO Security 247 on radio and television. Good morning to you, Richard. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Good morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much, man.
Okay, with the hula baloo that went on.
You said?
With the hula baloo that went on yesterday, and then people cannot but wonder why such should happen. This is supposed to be leaders.
Yes.
These are supposed to be mentors to youth. What do you think yesterday connotes to you?
I think we're going to say it the way it is. It just shows that there's no security in this country. I've been to Aso Rock before. I've been to National Assembly. I know how that place is conducted of. What happened yesterday is an embarrassment. Just a week earlier, the Senate said to Mr. President, it's high time into sack all your service chiefs. And this is not just, it's not an advice. It was told because of insecurity in Nigeria. And insecurity was taken to them. I think for me as a professional, I love what happened yesterday.
You loved what happened?
I love what happened yesterday.
How so?
Thank you. I love for them to see that we're not safe. If an hollow chamber can be tampered with, if a thug can walk into 6, no, let me tell Nigerians, in case you don't know how National Assembly is. For people like me, I can't just walk to National Assembly without having a mission. There is a drive-through. You meet the first gate. You see the police. You see the DSS. Name all the kind of secret service agents that you meet. You now drive again to the second gate. So in case the first gate couldn't filter you well, the second gate will be able to do something.
Okay.
Then after the second gate, you drive in again before you enter. And it was yesterday, amazingly, I even knew that even beggars, they say they are all over the places in National Assembly. How did they get entrance? You see, it's so sad that when something doesn't hit us as Nigerians, we don't wake up. There's no way I would have been discussing this on national television today if what happened yesterday have not happened. So the question is that how did those guys enter? And do you know the funny thing? How did they even enter the hallowed chamber? Because if you look, like one of the honorables said yesterday, he said they saw these guys with is it Omo-Agege now? Coming in. And nobody says anything. I just want to enter inside the hallowed chamber with their assistants. Okay, let's even assume, because yesterday I was doing a lot of permutation. Let's assume that these people, they call talk to you and I.
Yes.
Now, is it that they entered an honorable vehicle to able to pass through the gates? And if they do that, is there no check? Is there no any check to say, okay, as an honorable, if you're going to come with a guest, we need to check that guest to know whether he needed to enter the hollow chamber. You see, a whole lot of things happened yesterday. So when they were saying they want to review the security situation in National Assembly, I was just laughing.
All right, Richard, we'll come back to you. Just in case you don't really know how it played down at the Senate, what happened yesterday, let's just give you a bit of reminder. We'll come talk some more. Stay with us.
The mace of the Nigerian Senate is officially missing after a group of thugs who stormed the Red Chamber seized the item, which is the symbol of authority of the Senate President. The group of armed hoodlums who accompanied suspended Delta Senator Omo-Agege stormed the chamber in the middle of plenary to carry out the act. It was like any other day at the Nigerian Senate Wednesday until the arrival of Omo-Agege and the pandemonium that followed.
The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has just been invaded, and we're not going to take it kindly. This is an institutional invasion, so I want everybody to settle down.
The group headed straight for an SUV on standby and drove off. Senate activities continued shortly afterwards with a replica mace brought in. And in a solidarity gesture, members of the House of Representatives attended a brief emergency joint session of sort. It then emerged that a number of senators, including Dino Melaye, are on a seeming hit list, a fact which Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu confirmed as he says 2 of his colleagues escaped being kidnapped and ordered security operatives to restore the mace in 24 hours.
They attempted kidnapping 2 of our senators. They were virtually left. But we decided that we will not be intimidated by any circumstance. We will stand by our democracy, we will defend our democracy. It is an affront on democracy, it's an affront on the Senate, it's an affront on the National Assembly, it's an affront on our parliament. But we are going to stand together to ensure that we'll continue the assignment Nigerians gave us to represent them. We are going to get to the root of this matter. And I believe that I speak the mind of all of you here if I say we are giving the Inspector General of Police and the Director SSS to recover our mess within 24 hours.
All through the drama, the embattled Omo-Agege sat through the plenary before his eventual arrest at the end of the day's Senate activity.
My reaction is this. We have a plethora of authorities, including but not limited to the Court of Appeal decision, that says that the National Assembly, and specifically the Senate, has no power to suspend a senator for 1 day. Now, that judgment is a judgment in rem. It means... Are you aware that you are under arrest now? I can't be under arrest. For what purpose?
Meanwhile, the Senate has described today's incident as treasonable and condemned the action of Senator Omo-Agege, who led armed hoodlums to walk into the Senate plenary and seize the symbol of authority of the upper legislative chamber, the mace. In a statement by the Senate spokesperson Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, the Red Chamber describes the act as an attempt to overthrow a branch of the federal government of Nigeria by force, and that it must be treated as such. The Senate President is attending an IMF conference in Washington, D.C., and it remains unclear if he will cut short his trip following Wednesday's dramatic incident.
All right, welcome back. You just watched what happened at the Senate yesterday. Now, Richard, a lot of questions are coming to my head at this time. The senator has been in suspension, and he's supposed to be suspended for 90 legislative days. He has no business whatsoever at the hallowed chamber. I mean, is there no security, arrangement as regards who walks in and who should be in the Senate and who should not be? And of course, how could those folks have been, how could they have just carted away with that mace, with security operatives around and just watching them go in an SUV?
I don't work in National Assembly, and as a security person, I've never been dictated to work there. But looking at what security is supposed to be at that level, first of all, if a man is on suspension, it's not even supposed to be at the preliminary. It's not supposed to be. And that shows that the security bill started from admitting this man to even enter the hollow chamber, first of all. And again, you see, there's a whole lot of things that Nigerians, especially for those of us in security sector, need to sit in and analyze and digest. Number one, could we say that the security was bought over? Could we say that somebody have tampered with security situation in National Assembly? How come? Because I told you earlier, it's not just only Nigerian police. The DSS are supposed to be there. So are you telling me that all these security agencies are bought over? Because what happened yesterday to international community, it's an embarrassment. I even learned, because I read online, that even some Ghanaian parliament that came to understudy Nigerians' legislative work, they were inside the Hello Chamber yesterday.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's what I read. You see, so this whole thing is just show the state of insecurity in Nigeria. And it is high time we need to sit down together and have a summit as a country. How do we take security seriously?
To the next level. All right, we'll come back to you, Richard. I understand that we are getting signals now from Abuja. We are being joined by Barrister Frank Tietie. He's an activist and a policy analyst. Many thanks for joining us on Galaxy today. Now, you were against the suspension of the senator, that's Omo-Agege, for 90 legislative days. But is that enough excuse for him to just come to the plenary when the sitting was going on and with reportedly six hoodlums to make away with the mace?
This morning. Firstly, I was against the suspension of Senator Omo-Agege on the grounds that it was contrary to law and against the spirit of our municipal laws made by the National Assembly, our Constitution, and the international law. And it is with regards to the fact that a people in a democracy have a right at all times to be represented. You cannot keep a people unrepresented in a democracy for more than 24 hours. That is according to Section 21 of the Legislative Powers and Privileges Act. And then you also cannot keep a people unrepresented in any regard with respect to Article 13 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. So I didn't care what allegations the Senate had against Omo-Agege, but you must consider that Omo-Agege is in the Senate beyond himself and representing the people of Delta Central Senatorial District, that is the Urobo people. Now, I was against that in the spirit of the law. Now, there is no justification whatsoever for anybody to take laws into his hands and resort to self-help and cause what I refer to as a national disgrace and an international embarrassment to Nigeria, and particularly to the constituents of Delta Central Senatorial District. It is unacceptable and can never be justified. And the mere association of Senator Omo-Agege with this untoward, this embarrassing, this brigandage, this unholy and unlawful and illegal act is unacceptable to the people of Urobo. And for me as a person, I believe that there should be a vehement rejection of this association of this act with the Orobo people. It is unbecoming. It is, in fact, as a matter of history, unconnected with the Orobo people, and that's what touches me at this point. And I believe that what has happened, in the Senate, particularly in the National Assembly, apart from being a desecration of such an important institution of democracy, you see, there must be. You see, it becomes a challenge, a direct challenge to whether we want to, set up a country, we want to operate a country that is according to law or is according to force. What kind of humiliation, what kind of embarrassment would we have as a people, as a country, that the National Assembly, a group of 5 boys, just boys with guns, because the latest intelligence report I have is that the boys came with guns. That's why you find that the security operatives inside the National Assembly were actually, when they realized, they found that they needed to run for cover. That's the reason why they couldn't resist them. But in the report that you just showed, you find out that there was a waiting SUV right there to receive the boys and the mace. This kind of embarrassment, our democracy is on trial. It's on trial. And if we do not resolve this, then I can boldly say that there might be no hope for this country.
Looking at all of this, the Deputy Senate President says it is an offense and it is actually treasonable. In your opinion, do you really think this is so legally?
You see, firstly, when you say it's treasonable, you have to consider whether it is a conspiracy, it is a complicity, and then you also have to consider the crass negligence of duty on the part of those who are responsible for the security of the National Assembly. I expect by this time that security chiefs will be resigning. I expect at this time that some persons should be held accountable. We don't care those boys who did that. In fact, I beg to say this, that those boys haven't conducted that feat. They should be given an award that they will humiliate and they embarrass and make nonsense of our national security in that regard. Those boys should be rewarded. They should be rewarded. Unfortunately, I say this in reverse, and don't get me wrong. I condemn the act, but those boys to have done that has shown that even our president can be adopted anytime. What it means is that some people can just conspire and there can just be complicity, and then the president is having breakfast in the morning, and one way or the other, some persons just drive a SUV, demobilize the security of Aso Villa, and they carry our president away. Just the way they took that senator, and then they kicked him out like one piece of rubbish, and the man got bruises all over. What kind of national embarrassment is that? What kind of... I see... When you say it's treason, who are those who have come apart from those boys? And I pray not that Senator Omo-Agege is involved. Apart from those boys, those persons who are responsible for the security of the National Assembly should wake up and be punished. Be tried for criminal negligence of duty. This is too embarrassing for us as a country and as a people.
We want to appreciate your time and your thought on the show. That was Barrister Frank Tete, an activist and policy analyst. Many thanks for being a part of Galaxy today. Now, Richard, having listened to all that he has posted, do you really agree to some of his summations?
Oh, yes, I agree to everything he said to totality. That's a passionate Nigerian. That's somebody who really want Nigeria to be seen as in the international community as a country that that has sane people. The truth of the matter, he has said it all.
Okay.
Do you know we have not even mentioned the part that a senator was actually kidnapped?
Yes.
And he was pushed out. See, this thing, I don't know. Even up till now, I as a security person, I'm still thinking, what went wrong? Seriously. The whole place was compromised. That's just the whole thing. And like he said, Mr. President could be adopted anytime. from Aso Rock. The time is not taken. If this could happen in Omo-Agege. So what we are saying in Nigeria is that you do not mix politics with security.
Exactly.
Okay.
Whether you are APC right now, or you are PDP, or any political party, this is the time for us to say no to this illegality, this thing that happened. And again, I'll call on Nigeria, let's take our country. Let's take back our country. And that's why we're going to beg people, go get your PVC. Go get ready for 2019. Let's get the right people to do this thing. You see, there's nothing we can say here today. If the National Assembly, if they don't sit up, I'm telling you, you and I will be in our house.
Okay.
It happened right now, you're in your house, pop, 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 pop. You will say call police. Which police you want to call? Here in National Assembly, I see police directly and they could not do anything. They now say when something happens in your house, you call police.
Okay, looking at another scenario right now, the Deputy Senate President gave the Nigeria Police and the Department of State Services 24 hours to recover the stolen mace. And from what we hear from reports not too long ago, the mace was found at an Abuja flyover just right under the bridge. What's your reaction to that? Would you say it is a job well done or just sheer coincidence?
It's not about giving an ultimatum. It's not even about recovering the mace. It's about what happened. How did it happen? Who compromised? Right. How did we avoid this situation? That's just it. I know that definitely they're going to recover the mace. Again, after when this guy, let's assume that mistakenly or somehow they compromised, they got inside the Omo-Agege. How did they manage to get back again? Don't forget that all this, they are gated. I told you the first gate, the second gate. So when they are going back again,
you go through the same way that you came in.
The idea where people think that it could be a collaborative effort. It could be between the accused senator Omo-Agege, the hoodlums, and of course the security.
For now, I cannot say it now and say exactly. That's allegedly now.
Okay.
You understand? So let the police go out there. But like the barrister said, I think by now, the head of some security agencies should be resigning.
Okay. All right. Before we get more summations from you right now, let's see how people are reacting to this. This one is from Kanufe, Hidden State, where he's writing from. He said he should be jailed. I'm thinking you mean Senator Omo-Agege. This is serious. Our security outfit is so porous. This government can't stop disgracing Nigeria. That was from Ekene in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The mace was not stolen. It was just taken away because it was not useful to Nigerians. And this action should allow all Nigerians that we are not fools. The day all Nigerians will stand up and say no to all of this will soon come. All right, sir, all security on duty must be queried because they were there when those thugs came in. Shola from Lagos. All right, if we have talks in the Senate arena, then the country is not safe. Talks on okay, I can't really read that. Just try and paraphrase what you're writing so we can actually understand you. Take it or leave it. This couldn't have happened if the IG hasn't been compromised. All right, Omo-Agege is a thug and it is an embarrassment for doing such act. From Samuel Dasto. All right, let's see one more just before we round off. This is a big shame on the country and Nigerians. Where are we going? Oris Ogidigbe, he wrote us. Please, all those people, they know what they are doing. He leaves it simply like that. This is the outcome and menace of corruption in Nigeria because this is a planned work within and outside the Senate. All right, just as we begin to round off right now, what are the way forward as regards beefing up security, not just at the National Assembly, but places where, issues of national interest are being treated?
I think the first thing is the fact that the National Assembly needs to do the right thing.
And what is the right thing?
The right thing is that even this man is not supposed to be suspended.
Okay.
You see, even with all that happened that we have condemned, what brought about this? Why is it that when there's an opposition voice in National Assembly, they're either suspended or they are asked to leave? You see, they need to understand that all these kind of things have their own repercussion. And when you suspend people, when you've meant that okay, this person is going to be going to be suspended, or you suspended the person, now what do? Put your security in place to check any atrocity that will happen. But again, like somebody said through the message,
yes,
seriously, there's no way this thing would have happened in National Assembly if the guy at top do not know about this.
So you agree that there's a bit
yes.
of some corroboration from...
There's a compromise. If there's no compromise, how will those guys get entry into National Assembly? I'm telling you.
So it's almost sound like an organized crime.
Oh yes.
A lot of people feel.
Don't forget that there's even an SUV waiting for them. So that SUV, is it properly parked in the car park or parked in the front of the National Assembly like a getaway car? When that vehicle was seen there, who challenged the vehicle? What was it doing there? Because there's a protocol to everything that happens in the National Assembly. So the point we're saying here is that, going back to your question, I think our security is on ground zero. And Mr. President need to do something. We keep saying it. I've never seen a government for 4 years, going to 4 years right now, who has not changed the sitting ministers or looking at the security apparatus and make one changes. If there's anything why I voted for Buhari in the past was because security is going to be super
and beefed up.
Unfortunately, it's opposite.
Okay. All right, we have been speaking with Richard Amoa, the MD CEO, Security 247 on radio and television. Many thanks for being a part of Galaxy
Thank
today.
you so much for having me today, bro.
All right, our pleasure. All right, we will take a break. We'll be resting this segment at this, and when we'll come back, we'll be looking at our lifestyle segment. Specifically, Uche, do you and I play office politics?
Do we?
I wonder.
Are you sure?